Hello and welcome to the first official slow crafting podcast of 2020. This is a podcast about trying to incorporate a slow living or slow fashion agenda and some element of sustainability-ish into all my crafting endeavours, with a focus on expanding my handmade wardrobe. Now, my name's Nadine and I'm coming to you today from the northwest of England near Manchester. And today's issue, I just wanted to have a bit of a recap on how 2019 went or didn't really in terms of crafting makes. Now, didn't really get much made for myself at all. Just been back through my sort of Instagram feed and checking all my photos and things to find out what I actually did make for myself this year, and the only finished objects for myself that I made appear to be a pair of mittens, some leg warmers, both of which I finished in January last year, and a blue and white Fair Isle jumper, cardigan, top thing, the Ingrid sweater from a past issue of Rowan magazine. For any of you that have watched it, you're probably familiar with it already. But yeah, that was it. I've mended lots of clothes, and I think I upcycled a couple of bits by taking things I found in charity shops and embellishing them, like the Christmas jumper or the winter jumper I did, as featured in my vlogmas for this last year. But that's it. Now, I've made things for other people. I've made things for the girls, I've made things for my mum, I've made things for my other half, but yeah, not much for me. And I started things, but then just it's fizzled out, and it's partly because I just haven't been feeling the love for making things for myself. Now, last year I didn't particularly want to make things for myself because I was having a few body image issues, and I had a few health issues as well. Nothing particularly drastic, but the advice from the doctor at the end of last year was basically the only option is for you to actually lose weight. So yes, that's something I've got to do this year. So the idea of making things for myself whilst I'm in the process of actually losing weight seems a bit problematic. So this year, rather than focus on wanting to make myself so many outfits over the course of the year like I have done in previous years, and I wanted to do last year but didn't quite achieve, so I thought I'd take a slightly different tack with my intentions for this year. So where's my... I've got it written down on a list. Do love a list. Yeah, basically that's about 7 things that I want to do this year. One is use what I have, so use the patterns I have, use the wool that I have, use the fabric that I have, all these things that I have in stash across a whole range of crafts, you know, the fibre as well, and actually put them to use instead of just buying new. Because last year I wanted to be thrifty and I didn't want to particularly buy anything new, which was going really well until the end of the year when my local wool shop announced that it was closing, and it's my favourite wool. So I went and had a massive splurge over 3 shopping trips. I basically bought half the shop, so I really don't need any more wool, and I need to use what I have because I've got sweater quantities worth like in probably double figures from just one shop. Admittedly, that is the majority of my stash, because I don't tend to keep a lot of other stuff in stash from different places. Certainly not in that numbers. It's the odd skein here and there, but I need to use what I have, because I've got loads of patterns that I've bought or downloaded with the intention of making and haven't quite got around to doing it. So that's not just for myself, but for things for other people as well. So I need to use those. I need to finish what I start, and I'll come back to that later, because I have lots of unfinished projects across different crafts that really I need to finish. One that's always one of my aims is to be relatively sustainable. So I'm not aiming to be the green queen of everything, but do what I can within my budget and in the best way I can to be sustainable. So starting where I am and making small changes in what I do. To learn something new, to share my ideas and enthusiasm, be that through regular vlog updates, podcast updates, or the blog, or something else, but to share. Pace myself, which is a big one, because I do have a tendency to to bumble along and then all of a sudden spend a week not going to sleep until 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm up all night knitting, and then shattered for days, and I come out at the end of it with umpteen different things, but feeling absolutely exhausted. So if you keep a steady pace throughout the year and don't go silly with anything or rush any projects. And this one that I've not included before is to try and include a few charity makes this year. At the end of last year, I was left thinking about what more I could do to make a difference to other people. And one of the things that I wanted to do more of was making things for charity. Not necessarily making things to donate to charities themselves, but my local knitting group, they sort of make things to sell on behalf of a charity. So they make baby blankets and baby clothes and things like that, because I know a lot of places that collect knitwear for charities have been inundated with things recently and they're not collecting anymore, whereas this, the ladies take them in and collect them, they're responsible for selling them, and then that money is then donated to various different charities, mainly local ones. So I thought I could do a bit more for that. Yes. But I'm in the middle of baking some flapjack, so I think I might have to go check to make sure it's not burning. And then I'll come back to you with my plans for, or a bit of a roundup of all my unfinished projects. Perfect timing on the flapjack. I think if I'd have been a few seconds over, it would have been burned. But anyway, so my list of unfinished projects is as follows. The lion jumper for my brother, it's a Fair Isle jumper. Some handspun socks for me that I started, that was supposed to be finished in time for Christmas. Some socks using some West Yorkshire spinner's wool that I started, I think 3 Christmases ago. An Attic 24 ripple blanket kit that I was given Christmas 2018. The Mild Magic jumper that I was knitting for myself that I started last year. A crochet curtain blackout blind thing that I was making for the girls' bedroom. A blue and white floral quilt that I have had on the go since I lived in Nuneaton, which is more than 9 years ago now. Yeah, that's a long-term WIP. Pillowcase using some ballerina fabric that I was given for my youngest. I need to do that. a knitted tie that I was making as a design, a cowl, crocheted cowl that I was making with some llama fibre, a black and white double knitting hat that I started designing probably about 4 years ago, my Fair Isle cross stitch that has been on the go for a couple of years, some silk and BFL spinning that I started and I thought I'd finished, and then I found a bag of fibre that I hadn't spun that was part of the same set, so I need to finish that off. Some green British fibre, unspecified British wool, spinning that I started a couple of years ago. I've got about 500 grams for that to spin. And then 2 lots of white fibre, natural fibre that I was spinning. One's Dorset Horn, and I'm not quite sure what the other one is. It might be a Polworth or something. And then a baby blanket for my friend who's having a baby. Now that was a new cast on this year, but I knew last year that I wanted to make it. I just wanted to leave it nearer her due date before I cast it on. So yeah, quite a lot. Quite a lot, and that's the only thing, they're the things that I can remember at the moment. I'm sure when I start going through various different project bags, I'll unearth other things that I haven't finished. So my plan is to get all that done and out of the way before I cast on. I'm not going to say any new projects, because there are other things that I know I need to make, like for my children's birthdays and things, before these will all be finished. But yes, I would ideally like to get at least a couple of the things ticked off here before I cast on anything new. Although I've already crossed one off, the hand spun socks that I was supposed to be making for myself for this Christmas just gone. I did actually finish at the beginning of January, and I'll include a picture somewhere around about here. So that's one item I've managed to tick off my list so far. Now I will try and take some pictures tomorrow in better light of as many of the projects that I can find, so you can just see how massive my WIP mountain is. But clear the slate. I know there's lots of podcasters at the moment trying to finish off projects that they've had on the go, and you know, it's just nice at the beginning of the year to sort of get everything cleaned off and try and start afresh. But hopefully that finish what I start will be something that continues throughout the rest of the year, so if I start a project, it won't end up languishing by the wayside. I will either get on and finish it, or if I'm not feeling the love for it, frog it and put it back in your stash. Right, I think that's about it for tonight. I shall head off now and try not to eat any of that flapjack. I'm making it for a friend as a thank you for something, so it's probably best if I don't eat it all before I get a chance to give it to her tomorrow. But it smells so nice. I love flapjack. Won't really help with my weight loss either, but that's a slow and steady process, so a bit of flapjack here and there will be fine. Right, anyway, I shall go, I shall say good night, and then I shall put some pictures in tomorrow of some of the other projects. Alright then, take care, bye bye. Right, so this is a selection of some of the unfinished projects. Here is the Mild Magic sweater, which is about 2/3 of the way done probably. Here's the lion jumper for my brother, which just needs, it's got 2 sleeves, a body, and just needs the top section finishing. Here's the crochet cowl I'm designing. I found some more projects that I hadn't even put on my list. There's a pair of Myers Mameluckers, and on my list they're the West Yorkshire Spinners socks that I've been knitting since Christmas 3 years ago. Here is the BFL and silk spin that I missed.
that goes with those two skeins. Here is the shawl for my daughter. This wasn't on my list. It's finished, it just needs, well, it's finished knitting, it just needs the ends weaving in and blocking. This is the really small child's hand trying to claim a shawl. This is a baby blanket for my friend's baby. This wasn't on the list either. This is supposed to be a waistcoat for my other half. This is the Fair Isle cross stitch. This is the Attic 24 ripple blanket. This is the curtain for my daughter's bedroom. And this wasn't on the list either. It's a unicorn kit from a magazine or something that my mum got, and sewed all the knitted all the pieces, but then couldn't be bothered to sew it up, so she gave it to me to finish off for the girls, and I haven't done that yet either. So I think there's only those two that are acrylic. That's cotton, and all the rest are wool. So yeah, some of the other unfinished objects are packed up as part of the room decoration process, but I'm sure those will come out over the next few months. Right, I best crack on with some of this work then.